Welcome to this week's episode of The Good, the Bad and the Odd with your hosts Mark and Sam, and this week we'll be telling you about what we've been watching, what we've been reading, what we've been listening to and what games we've played. We'll be covering our top 5 favourite movie bad guys and we'll be reviewing X-Men First Class. Okay, have you watched any films this week, Sam?
No, not really any films. I've watched some of the most recent episode of the Naruto anime.
Okay.
Midway through watching it, but
how long is each episode then?
Half hour.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't say in case anybody's watching that hasn't seen it already.
Oh, just tell us if it was good, bad, or odd.
So far, it's quite good.
Oh, good. Okay, well that's good. And that's the very latest one, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. We watched together. We watched some of Godzilla Final Wars, the movie.
My favourite of them.
You like that one? Yeah, we just fast forwarded a lot of it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Watched towards the end.
I've watched the whole film. I like it.
It was pretty good. I was being impatient because we didn't have much time, but I did enjoy the bits I watched. It can't be a good Godzilla film, can you, if you're in the mood for one, really?
Yeah.
I've watched a few movies apart from Godzilla Finals, but this time all the way through. I rewatched Bride of Frankenstein, which I enjoyed a lot. It's from 1935. It's black and white and so on, but it's one of my favourite films actually of all time. And I rewatched that because I'm just working through the old Universal horror films, and that one was the next one on the list. And I've got a few more Frankenstein ones to watch in the next few weeks. I watched a recent one called Moon. Have you heard of that one?
Nah.
It's directed by David Bowie's son. His name's Duncan Jones. It's his first feature. He's made another one since, which I can't remember the name of, but it's a bit like Inception.
That sounds a bit...
What?
David Bowie's son.
Yeah, I know, it's a bit unfortunate because he's quite talented. It's a pretty good film. It reminded me a lot of some of the good sci-fi movies that were out in the 70s, such as Silent Running and 2001. It had that kind of vibe, but it was very good. Sam Rockwell was pretty much the only person in it. You know him he was the dispensable one in Galaxy Quest.
Well, yeah.
Is one you'd know from. He's a really terrific actor. He's been in all sorts of things, and he's always brings something different to whenever to any film he's in. And he was really good in this. But it was basically him. He was it, and there was a computer called Gertie who was voiced by Kevin Spacey, who was very, very reminiscent sound-wise of Hal from 2001.
Okay.
So when you first watched it, you think, is he going to be Hal all over again? And that's great. And I've just watched today Batman Begins. Again, which reminds me that used to be the greatest comic book movie of all time until The Dark Knight came out. So now it's the second greatest comic book movie.
I wonder what the next greatest comic book movie is going to be.
Well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see. I haven't much TV worth talking about.
Hopefully it won't be much of Spider-Man 3.
Not. Oh god, no! I don't think it will. I have faith in Christopher Nolan not to submit to the studio whims of packing in as much as possible to meet the franchise needs. But we'll see. I am looking forward to see Tom Hardy as Bane.
Yeah.
That sounds really good because Tom Hardy's a really, really good actor. I think the last time I saw him in something was Inception. I don't think he's been in much you'd have seen actually.
No.
But he is pretty good. He did play a very young Picard in Star Trek 10, I think, but that wasn't a very good film. And not through his fault, but it just wasn't a very good film. I've been reading quite a few graphic novels, actually. I caught up with The Walking Dead, which I think I mentioned last week. There was 5 to read. I've read those. They're just as brutal as ever, and it's a kind of a mix of soap opera and extreme brutality and violence that's quite addictive actually and it's like when you read them and you've got no more to read, it's like, oh no, why did I start this again? I have to put up with waiting again. I read Marvel Zombies vs Army of Darkness, which was pretty goofy. It was basically Ash. Say again?
You told me about this.
It was basically Ash meeting various zombie versions of Marvel characters like Spider-Man and Captain America. And it was quite funny. He met a non-zombie Punisher who expected Ash to play second fiddle to him. And said, right, you feed me ammo and I'll shoot the zombies. And as he's shooting, Ash goes, well, I'm not doing that. Walks off and leaves the Punisher to his fate, being eaten by a bunch of zombies. It's kind of funny. There was also a zombie Howard the Duck, which was very odd.
Howard the
And finally, I read
You?
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, okay.
League of X, yeah, there was four in all, and I read the second, third, and fourth. Third and fourth I didn't really like at all. The second one I liked. They were fighting the Martians from War of the Worlds, and the really interesting character, and it was Dr. Hyde. He has a relationship with one of the other characters, Mina Harker or Mina Murray from
vampire.
Dracula, the one who was like bitten by Dracula.
Yeah, the vampire.
Yeah, and there's some interesting dynamics between the two of them across the first two comics. First, when they meet, he kind of likes you, and you don't know why, and he's talking to her, and he says, You're not scared of me, are you?" And she says, "No." And he says, "I've never met anyone who wasn't scared of me. You've met someone worse than me, haven't you?" And she says, "Yeah." And Hyde's an interesting guy. He's kind of brutish. He's like a big ape. He's kind of like the Hulk, but he's very articulate. He's got super senses, so he can smell things. He's the only one who can actually see the Invisible Man as well. He doesn't tell anyone this. He doesn't tell the Invisible Man either, and he uses it to great effect later on. Yeah. And he also tells of how when Jekyll invented him, Jekyll was a big, strong, 6-foot man, strapping, and he was a little dwarf. And as the years have gone by, Jekyll's kind of shrunk into a little, ineffectual man, while he's grown in strength because he's just great. He's fed the sort of desires and wants of the Hyde side of his personality, whereas Jekyll's just given up because now he's separated. His drives away from him. He hasn't got any drive himself, and he just sort of shrinks back. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, any books you've read or anything like that?
Most recently I've read the most recent Naruto mangas.
Okay.
It's getting really big. There's a huge setup for fights. They're in the middle of a war.
Okay, yeah. Well,
I've been reading the most recent Bleach manga, where it really, that's getting to a dramatic head as well. So,
okay,
they're the two manga I read most prominently. So I'm sort of switching between the two, going updates, please,
please tell me more. So, what are they, monthly?
They're weekly.
Oh, weekly. Well, that's
they're like
not so
20
bad.
pages.
The problem with Walking Dead is it's monthly, so it's a real drag to try and. I think if you read one at a time, if you read it monthly, you wouldn't be so bothered. But when you read 5 or 6 and you get into it again, and then you have to wait a month, it's like, oh no. I've been listening to some music. I've been listening to the Creep Show. They're a sort of psychobilly band. I've listened to their first album. I was playing it here the other day, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I like it, but I don't think anyone else in the house does.
No.
Yeah, I think it's really energetic and great. It was an album called Sell Your Soul. Any games you want to talk about? Or?
I've been recently playing all the downloadable stuff for Mass Effect 2, which I really enjoy. Sorry if I accidentally give any spoilers, but it's so fun.
It's fun, is it?
There's one where you have to hire a thief.
Right.
And it goes through this sort of really quick sort of dive through the location you have to go through. It's like, first we go through the front door. All our weapons are hidden in this statue, but and then it just keeps going on. She sort of describes it in an Ocean's. I think is it
Ocean
the
11?
Films? Yeah. It goes one step by step through doing things.
Right. I've been playing a lot of Dungeon Siege 3 because we got it on the rental, and it's a new game and I fancy trying it. It's very reminiscent of Diablo and Diablo 2 actually on the PC. It's good fun, but I've kind of got bored of it now after about 3 or 4 hours of playing. So I'm going to be sending it back. So that's my week, I think, covered. Anything else to add to?
No, not really.
Okay. We'll move on to number 5 is Alive, which is our favourite movie bad guys.
Number 5 is Alive.
Now, I took this as my personal favourite movie bad guys rather than what I think everyone's favourite. What about you? Is that the way you took
same.
it? Oh, okay. Would you like to start, shall I?
You can start first.
Okay, I'll start with this. I'm going to pick... One of my favourites is Blofeld. And it's a particular Blofeld. It's the Blofeld of You Only Live Twice. The bald, mad-looking one who's looks a bit like Dr. Evil. In fact, it's Dr. Evil's based that particular Blofeld. I don't like any of the others. I don't particularly like Telly Savalas Blofeld and the Charles Gray Blofeld from Diamonds Are Forever. He's just mad. It's the first time they're supposed to meet as well. Well, it is. Sorry, it is the first time they meet in the films. And it's just interesting, you know. He's got the fluffy cat and everything. I think he's great. Anyway, to you.
Okay, the two I've got for number 5 essentially fill the same role for their respective films. It's the Alien and the Predator.
Oh, okay. You're tag teaming it, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. I should have put Doctor Evil with Blofeld in, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, go on.
But they're just both so threatening, and the Alien is incredibly scary in the enclosed ship. The Predator is the lack of knowledge of where it could be, and the fact that it could strike from anywhere. This applies to both of them, really.
Oh yeah, they're both great antagonists, aren't they? One of the things I remember reading about when Alien first came out is this is the first time you can't see the zip, was how they described it. First time you actually felt there was an alien in the film that wasn't a bloke in a suit, even though it was.
It mostly wasn't. It was a puppet.
Yeah, well, it's only with Aliens you actually saw it distinctly enough to realise that. Obviously, at the end of Alien, you see it quite distinctly too. But for most of the film, you barely see it, so you can't make out what it is—a spider shape or. It's like, they're both terrific characters, though. I agree. Good choice. Good choice. Okay, I'll go to my number 4. My number 4 is Khan from The Wrath of Khan. I hate to sound like a Star Trek nerd, but
There's
Sorry.
no problem with that.
Okay,
We
fine.
just have to help you with your problem.
Yeah, just let me watch Star Trek. That's it. He's the only really good protagonist.
Do that, Dave.
Say again?
I can't do that, Dave.
Oh yeah, well, okay. He's the only really good protagonist. Antagonist that Kirk faced. There really isn't anyone else who's stacked up as well as Khan. I mean, there's a few. Christopher Lloyd's Klingon in Star Trek 3 was pretty
Christopher
good.
Lloyd was a Klingon?
Yeah, and he actually effectively created modern Klingons in that role. They really weren't defined that well until Star Trek 3. And Christopher Lloyd basically brought to that role what we think of as being Klingons now. You know, angry, aggressive, so on. Consume with honour and sort of the good of the Empire and stuff like that. Yeah, he was quite good, but I can't remember what his name was. But no, Khan was a really terrific antagonist for Kirk. Anyway, to you, number 4 for you.
Okay, my number 4 is King Ghidorah. You may cringe, but this thing's existence is based around destruction. It lives to break stuff.
Yeah, he was pretty good in the Godzilla Final Wars.
That's the big
Sorry.
reveal.
Go on.
That's a big reveal for the film.
Well, let's face it.
Yeah,
Everyone knows
everyone
that
knew it was going to happen, but still, it was quite a surprising thing.
Really?
In the way
well,
It seems
all right.
from
Let's not talk about the end of Final Wars, but yeah,
Okay.
King Ghidorah. I mean,
King
he's been in many films.
He's
hasn't
been in about 5, 6 of Godzilla's films.
he? Yeah.
In one, he was a good guy, even. But
I don't think I've seen any of those apart from Final Wars. I'm just well aware of King Ghidorah.
But he appears in the form of a giant fireball, sometimes a giant just ball of lightning,
I didn't know that.
and just descends and destroys.
No, I'm not that familiar with it, other than seeing it in pictures and seeing it in Final Wars this week. But I was well aware of King Ghidorah. It's one of the few Godzilla
Enemies that
enemies
can
that I
fight
can
him.
actually name and recognise. I know some of their names and I know some to see, but often I can't put the name to the thing, whatever it
This
means.
just shows you how much of a Godzilla nerd I am, because I can name all of them.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's bad, mate. Oh well.
Then again, you can name Star Trek episodes by
That is bad.
a
Yeah.
slight description.
Yeah. Well, only the original series. In my defence, that's a good defence. Okay, I'll go to my number 3 if you don't mind. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm going to pick. This is a bit of a stretch because it's actually a TV movie rather than a movie, but I'm going to pick him anyway, and I'm going to pick Pennywise the Clown from It.
Yeah.
Now, one of the reasons I picked him is, well, first he's great, but I've got a great story about Pennywise the Clown that I'm going to share with you now. And I think I've probably told you, Sam, but I'm going to share it with you. I was I've read it several times and seen the TV movie several times. And I was sitting in a waiting room at the doctor's surgery. I was all alone in the surgery. There were people in there before me, and usually they just announce their names to go in. And I was all alone in this section, so someone else. I was reading it, and there's one section in the book, just once it happens, in a 1,200-page book, where Pennywise is referred to as Bob Gray. Now, if you know it and the story, it always starts with something slightly weird happening to the characters, and then getting weirder and weirder until there's blood on every surface, or someone dies, or something like that. Anyway, I was sitting reading the book. I just read this page where he's called Bob Gray, and was on the next page after that, and suddenly the receptionist goes, "Bob Gray." So I thought, what? Ooh. And I look around, there's no one else in there, and I was thinking, am I in it? Oh, am I in it? And then she just said my name. It was like, that's really weird. Yeah, so that was probably the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me, I have to say. But yeah, I do like Pennywise the Clown. He's very fun. We'll have to just forget about the ending of the TV because that isn't great. But the rest of it, he's a great antagonist. Yeah, spiders. Anyway, to you.
My number 3 is the Witch King of Angmar. I was tempted to say Sauron, but he doesn't really do that much.
He's just an eye.
Yeah, he's just an eye. He's steering everything, really. But the Witch King does stuff.
Yeah.
He kills everything that comes near him, apart from 2 people.
Really. I do like the face-off with him in the second film. Was it the second?
He's the only character that actually scares Gandalf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Oh, apart from when he gets offered the ring, I guess.
Yeah.
But yes, he is. Yeah, he's a good choice. Good choice. Okay. My number 2 is from The Dark Knight, and it's the Joker. The Joker is a fantastic antagonist. Really good bad guy. He's funny. He's mad. You never quite know what he's going to do. He's just awesome, and he'd be my number 1, apart from one that I've loved ever since I saw it from long ago, that I just have to mention, and who's going to be my number 1. So so my number 2 is the Joker.
Okay.
Who's to you, Sam?
Okay, my number 2 is the Terminator.
The
original
nice.
Terminator.
I've got that in my honourable mentions. Yes.
Okay.
The very first, Arnie.
The guy
is the bad guy.
Scary.
He's relentless.
He just doesn't react to anything.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it's in Terminator 1 or 2, but there's just this bit where he gets like either shot or pushed out of a window. There's like a floor off the ground. He just lands bolt still, and then just sits up and carries on.
I think it's number 1 near the end. I think that's. I could be wrong. Yeah, he's an awesome.
And his vision's actually from a Mac. The way when it does this weird Terminator vision, that's from a Mac.
That's an Apple Mac.
Yeah, the original Mac.
Nah, that can't be right, because like Terminators can do stuff. They can't be based on Macs. I can't believe that. Right. Okay. All right then. Right. My number 1 is from Highlander, and it's the Kurgan. Now, the Joker's great, but the Kurgan was around 20 years before before the Joker, doing much the same work. It has to be said.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic and a bad guy. He's just so awful and unrelentingly bad, but funny at the same time. Just annoying people, going into churches and being suggestive to nuns and just annoying people generally.
Fun fact: the same guy's now in SpongeBob.
His voice.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
He didn't do that much, but
he's
I
Mr.
always
Krabs.
liked him. That is so funny.
The money laundering.
Does he ever
boss.
use any of the lines from Ireland? Have you ever noticed?
No. I think he's done.
Hi,
he had a fight with Plankton, and he said there can be only one.
Really?
Just as like
nice. Awesome. What's your number one then?
Okay, my number one is Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
There is no one who's not even slightly scared of this guy.
Yeah, he is pretty
Until
bad.
after episode 3. But
Yes. You mean episode Return of the Jedi, I presume?
no. Episode 3, the proper episode 3, according to George Lucas. But Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
But no.
Oh,
He is terrifying.
I've got him as an honourable mention, that's for sure.
The first time you see him come out of that smoke, you know this guy means business.
I think if we did a best bad guys or
Yeah.
top bad guys,
Oh, he's
not rather
always
than
in the best
favourite,
bad
I think he'd
guys.
probably be my number one too. But on this, as I say, it was favourite, so I've got him as an honourable mention though. Yes. How about your honourable mentions?
Okay, I've got Sauron.
Yep.
Saruman.
Okay.
Saruman, the T-1000. Darth Maul, he's the only thing I liked about it.
Darth Maul was great.
Yeah.
He was he's the only good one from the first start. It's a good thing from the first Star Wars, I think. But he was. Oh no, Qui-Gon Jinn was quite good too.
Yeah.
But Darth Maul was really spectacularly good.
I have the Terminator X, which is the female one from number 3.
I didn't really like
Most
that.
people don't like the third
Nah.
film, but I like
Oh,
that.
the film was okay.
The Terminator. The
Yeah, but her,
Terminatrix.
yeah, it was okay. It was okay.
She scared me. She can change into anything. She doesn't need to find guns like the other Terminators. She
That's
has
true, she
one
was
in
different,
her.
Yeah. She's I quite
And
like
she's
it.
much
It was an okay
stronger.
film. The trouble is, the first two films were so good that anything else that comes after it sort of falls off quite a bit. And as a bad guy, she was okay. Yeah, she was different enough to make it interesting. I have to agree. You got any other honourable mentions?
No, not really.
I got Darth Vader, as I said. I got the Black Knight. It's a scratch. The Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Gollum.
Yeah.
How. Hannibal Lecter. Ming. And I've heard that apparently they're considering remaking Flash Gordon, and my thoughts are, well, okay, if you can find a better King of the Hawkman than Brian Blessed, and better music than Queen, you go right ahead. But otherwise, please don't. Wicked Witch of the West, I quite like.
Really?
Yeah, I thought she was a good bad
She
guy.
was creepy when you were
But she was
2, but
good. She was good. Doctor Evil. Well, that's kind of like.
I call it a laser.
I really liked the Bela Lugosi Dracula. I thought that was really good. Really, I mean, people when you say Dracula, they kind of think about that one
Yeah.
still, don't they? You know, and that's like the first one.
He was only in 3.
He
Bela
was in.
Lugosi.
Yes, he was. He was only in 3 as Dracula. It was the first one. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, and I can't remember the other one. Was it 3? There was another.
Yeah,
one.
there was 3.
Yeah.
But
I also another honourable mention I got is the Hessian from Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
oh yeah. No,
Christopher
it's just
Walken.
Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow. Sorry, yeah, Sleepy Hollow. The Johnny Depp.
I forgot
Tim
about
Burton
him.
one. The Hessian. He's
so
fantastic.
creepy.
He's so weird. Yeah, I really like him.
And that's before he goes from Christopher Walken to the...
Yeah, Christopher Walken, as he is bad enough. Never mind about
Yeah.
having pointy teeth and mad hair. Angel Eyes from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I thought it was a
yeah.
great one. General Zod. General Zod
No,
from Superman 2. Yeah,
I really don't like him.
no. I think it's, a bit plain.
Stupid. It's just nothing to him. He just sort of walks around and goes, "This is now mine."
I liked him. I thought he was really good. And finally, one I'm pretty sure you've not seen, which is Alan Rickman doing the Sheriff of Nottingham in Robbing the Prince of Thieves. He's just really, really
sounds
funny.
good, but-
Yeah, and he says things like, "Oh, and cancel Christmas," and he gets annoyed. Things like that. It's funny. Well, you have to. It's hard to describe. You have to see it. It's a bit like a really, really good pantomime act. Let's put it that way. Okay, so those are our favourite movie bad guys. We'll now move on to There Can Be Only One.
There can be only one.
So this week we're reviewing X-Men First Class. Main actors in this are James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, and Jennifer Lawrence, I think, was her name. And it was directed by Michael Vaughan, who also directed Kick-Ass. In this, you see Charles Xavier and Eric Lancher before they become properly Professor X and Magneto, or see their journey to becoming those characters. And they have to work together to try and resolve an issue precipitated by another mutant, and save the world. And it's based in 1962, and we'll discuss it now. Just so you know, on IMDb, this is rated 8.1 out of 10. So what?
Only 8.1.
Well, that's a pretty good score.
I thought it was better than that.
Well, let's discuss it. What did you like about it?
There wasn't really anything I didn't like about it. I can't say any bad points.
Is there anything specific you thought was exceptionally good about it?
The last 10 minutes were really... I hesitate to say intense, but they were really good.
They were good. We'll try not to be
You're on the edge of
specific
your
on this.
seat.
Yeah, we'll try not to spoil it because it's only just come out. It was really good. What I liked about it was the story was very well constructed. I thought you never felt, well, why did they do it? What's going on there? What's happening? It was very clear what was going on. It was well directed. The two leads, Professor Xavier and Charles Xavier and Eric were really fantastic. Actually, James McAvoy was Charles Xavier. He's been in quite a lot of adult sort of oriented films, like I'm trying to think of one now. Wanted. I think you found out he was in.
He's Tumnus.
Yeah, Mr. Tumnus. That's it, Mr. Tumnus. And there was and also Michael Fassbender was really good too, and he was a very cool character, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I couldn't help thinking while the film, it was set in the early '60s. When he was on the screen and moving, and he was wearing neat suits and stuff, he'd make a good James Bond, actually. In the future, Michael Fassbender, I thought, yeah, I can see him as a James Bond, over to sort of Daniel Craig. I also like the excellent villain. Excellent villain. It's Kevin Bacon as Sebastian Shaw. Really terrific villain. And I also thought, while I was watching it, he'd make a good Bond villain, actually.
Yeah. That
type of a character. There was a few things I didn't like. These are nitpicks, though. Mostly, I thought it was an excellent film. Some of the other characters that came into it, the other mutants, you really didn't get much of their character. Apart from introducing their powers and a little sort of talking, they were a bit under.
Finding them is one of the best bits of the film.
So
many cameos at that point.
Yeah, there was lots of cameos. But having said that, the very short time they were on the screen, the director and the writers managed to pack an awful lot in. And while I mentioned the director of this directed Kick-Ass, the writer was the writer of Kick-Ass as well. So there's a team going on there, and it worked well, didn't it? I thought it was a really good. It was my favourite sort of comic book film this year by far. I mean, I quite like Thor, and we saw that a few weeks ago. But so far, this one's been the one I really liked. I liked it. There was also a couple of other really minor things. Some of the beginning scenes, I have to be careful because I don't really want to spoil it. There's a beginning scene where a couple of the mutants kind of meet, and one says to the other, "You can be in my family," and that's it. We see him years later, and it's like, oh, okay, so she just joined the family and no one comments on it. But these are really nitpicks.
That's just reminded me of one of my faults. Is when a woman gets shot, she doesn't sort of drop to the floor. She sounds like she slams herself onto the floor.
Yeah, well, that's a dramatic effect, isn't it?
It's not like even sort of she just sort of drops. It's just like guy fires the gun. She just goes wham straight into the ground as soon as the gun fires.
Yeah, I know the bit you mean, but I think that was just the sort of music and sound designed to add impact. I'm not sure that was meant to be realistic sounding as such.
Okay.
It moved along very fast. It was quite a long film, but it moved along. It always seemed to make sense to me. and I thought it was well directed. The music wasn't very memorable, but it fitted the film well. It wasn't jarring in any way. But I can't say I could particularly remember any of the music in it. The CGI was pretty good.
Yeah.
There wasn't any shoddy
That was very
CGI
good.
at all. So overall, I think we both liked it quite a lot.
Yeah.
What would you give it out of 100?
I'd give it, about 88 out of 100.
Really, that high? Wow.
Yeah.
It was a good film. I'd give it 78, actually. So I'm a bit lower than the IMDb score, actually. So if we split the difference, that would give it an 83. And I guess we'd recommend this to go see while it's in the cinemas, if you can. And if you can't, I'd recommend. It's probably going to be worth buying, actually.
Yeah, I'd definitely
good
say
film.
buy it.
Okay, so that ends that section. If you would like to leave any feedback for the podcast, you can email us at info@thegoodthebadandtheodd.com, or check out our website www.thegoodthebadandtheodd.com and leave feedback there. Anything you leave we'd appreciate greatly, and we'll be sure to mention it as long as it's not too horrible. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.